Good day, everyone. Welcome to Global Government News. Today is Friday, October 15th, 2010, and I'm Darko. Welcome to this news bulletin news video. I'd like to start off by plugging my own website to new listeners. It is www.ggnonline.com. That's ggnonline.com. Thank you again for visiting me and checking out these little news videos that I'm making here. And it'll pretty much be a variety of content. There's two other videos that I posted and uploaded today. I recommend checking them out. You can check them out on my website or on my YouTube channel. I posted an economic news video and a war on terror, liberty, and sovereignty news video as well. And this one will pretty much include anything else that I wasn't able to get to, including eugenics and Big Brother, and some other interesting news. But the first one up is majorities in U.S. view government as too intrusive and powerful. Independents largely side with Republicans in denouncing big government. Well, the Republicans are big government. They're just not as big a government as their communist counterparts. They're fascists, so they do believe in a little bit more of private ownership in that. But for the most part, no, Republicans are not conservative and they're big government. So this is just that statement right there just perpetuates the illusion that there is a choice, that you do have a choice when you go to the polls to vote for your next slave master. But it says here from Princeton, New Jersey, record or near record high percentages of Americans are critical of the size and scope of government as measured by 4 Gallup trend questions updated in September. This sentiment stretches to 59% of Americans now believing the federal government has too much power, up 8 percentage points from a year ago. You don't really have to believe in it, they do. You have to look at the facts, they do. The amount of legislation that's been rammed through the House and Senate in the past 50 years is just tremendous. And here it goes and shows you the actual numbers. It says nearly as many Americans also give the anti-government response to a question asking whether government should do more to solve the country's problems or whether it is doing too many things that should be left to businesses and individuals. Today's 58% saying it is doing too much is just slightly below the 59-60% levels recorded in the mid to late 90s. And just a quick little note here for any new listeners. It says when they talk about anti-government, that's kind of a 1984 Orwellian doublethink type statement. It's a loaded little word. And so if you don't like the government, well, all of a sudden you're anti-government. And if you're anti-government, ooh, you might be a terrorist. So this is how ridiculous it is today. If you're someone that you can be someone that believes in no government, and I don't think you should be looked down upon if you don't believe in statism. Obviously, the facts are out. Government is not the best way to, most efficient way to for people to go about their business, for resources to be allocated, and social situations to be resolved. Their track record is horrible, and they've had about how much? 500,000 years, 1,500 years to get it right, and they haven't. So I side with those that are for a stateless society. You can go down here and read more stuff on here, but lots of news to cover. Just going to keep moving. Rupert Murdoch says Republican donations are necessary for change in Washington. I wonder if he's talking about the type of change that Obama was talking about. It says Rupert Murdoch has strongly defended News Corp's political donations in America, arguing that there needs to be a fair amount of change in Washington. So he's acting like he's not a globalist fascist, right? He's acting like he's one of us, like not really one of us, but like he's one of you or me or anybody else that wants less government, a lot less government, or no government, and wants these big corporations that only exist because of big government to go away and leave people alone. But no, it says former White House advisor wants cybercrime having crackdown, whatever the heck that means. A former White House security advisor has urged a crackdown on rogue states that serve as a safe haven for cybercrime, along with a fundamental rethink of internet architectures. Richard Clark, who served as special advisor to the President George W. Bush on cybersecurity, told delegates to the RSA conference in London that Western law enforcement officials often fail to get the help they need when they track back the source of a cyber attacks to countries such as Moldova, Russia, and Belarus and Eastern Europe. And there are, like in, I believe it was, what was it, the Georgia or the Georgia. They had cyber attacks going on, and that was the same type of software that was written. It was either produced or created by the CIA. I was just reading an article earlier today about that. These little cyber attacks that bust off or pop off and ends up getting traced as software that's actually created by intelligence agencies. Cyber warfare already here, UK spy agency chief says. And of course, you know, I have to throw this out there just for anybody who isn't aware of this. All this cybersecurity or cyber warfare bull BS crap is it's just basically an excuse so that they can spy on you and collect all the, your personal information. But they don't really have to even do that. Most people are so conditioned to give up all their information, their personal information, voluntarily, or if they don't, they can't, you know, they can't carry out commerce, right? So now everything is getting pushed towards a no privacy at all. And you know, the Google CEO has already told everybody about that. He's told children you're going to have to change your name when you get older. So this is all about, this is all not just, this is basically what I'm saying is this is not just a coincidence. 9/11 was definitely, like they say, whatever you want to call it, an inside job, or either the government allowed it to happen, or they were indirectly funding those who carried it out. So, you know, the building was exploded with bombs. I mean, it's pretty self-evident, but I don't really go over 9/11 too much just because I think it's a rabbit hole. You end up wasting your time. It's very, very obvious that it was an inside job. And it won't be the first time that governments carried out false flag attacks, because soon after comes their solution, which means less rights and freedoms for you. And that's why I'm saying, that's why I propose a stateless society, because in a stateless society, you wouldn't have to be constantly being bombarded by propaganda and rhetoric and lies and deception and coercion in order to keep you safe. No, the only person that can keep you safe and look out for your own best interest is yourself. Whether it's your money, your private property, or whatnot, it's you. So if you believe that the government is the best person to take care of you, well then you're naive. And you're going to get hurt really bad. Countries are already using cyber warfare techniques to attack each other and need to be vigilant round the clock to protect computer systems, the head of Britain's communications spy agency says. So, yeah, I mean, I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. When you read these articles, which are propaganda, and they're telling you, or they're trying to persuade you that there's always these, you know, terrorists or these rogue hackers. Well, you know what, dude? There's actually not that many of them. Most of them are actually coming from the government and from corporations like Symantec and Microsoft and all of them. They create the viruses and they come out with the solution, which is the virus protection software. This next one up was DARPA wants automated counterintelligence Magic 8-Ball, and this is basically about pre-crime where they can and they're testing it out on their own people in the military to say, ooh, when good guys go bad, right? When the good guys join the terrorists. And I mentioned this in my last video, where you know, yeah, I mean, if you're someone that's working for the government, you know, who has, like I said, a track record of stealing and killing and murdering people, including their own citizens, and then expanding that outward and taking over other countries and then implementing that same type policy, yeah, I mean, once you actually pull your head out of your ass, you might actually see that you're working for the bad guys, and then you turn into a good guy. And then, so you see how that happens? When you're living in a world where everything is upside down, the good guys are actually in the mainstream media, in the public's eye, the good guys are actually bad guys. So just remember that. Moving on here, because I have to get these articles covered here because we're running out of time. Department of Homeland Security scoured social media sites during Obama's inauguration for items of interest. It says the EFF has released documents that will reveal a broad range of targets, including Facebook, Twitter, as well as NPR and Daily Kos. This is from Computerworld. It says an electronic rights advocacy group is expressing concern over what it contends was an overly broad surveillance of social networking sites conducted by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security in the days leading up to the 2009 inauguration of our Führer, non-president Barry Santoro, a.k.a. Barack Hussein Obama. Next one up. This is good, guys, because I actually mentioned this in recent videos, and someone actually put something together. So kudos to you, roguegovernment.com. Thank you for doing this and putting this together, because this is actually what I thought. Was the Chilean miner rescue a Masonic ritual? Well, actually, I thought it was research for NASA to see, observe people that were stuck and thought they weren't going to make it out, and just kind of study the psychology of it. And in reality, I pointed out that there was 33 Chilean miners, and that was a big, significant number. But look, it says the rescue of 33 Chilean miners trapped underneath the earth for 69 days has received worldwide attention, media attention and coverage, but something about the entire sequence of events raised a number of questions. In fact, it is very possible that the event was nothing more than a carefully staged Masonic ritual. Let's take a look at some of the anomalies, and this is creepy, dude, because I noticed all this stuff. First, there was a total of 33 miners, which is quite a strange coincidence. 33, of course, is 33 degrees, is a revered number among Freemasons, with 33 degrees of Freemasonry obtainable in the Scottish Rite branch of the order. It is also worth noting that Jesus was crucified on the 33rd day of his life, and the original Temple of Solomon stood for a total of 33 years. The date of the rescue taking place on October 13th, 2010 is incredibly odd as well. October 13th was the date that the Knights Templar were rounded up by Pope Clement V and King Philip IV of France. It is a very important date amongst Freemasons. The Knights Templar had a profound influence on Freemasonry with their youth organization, the Demoli, named in honor of the last Templar leader, Demoli. As the Vigilant Citizen points out, the numerology surrounding the date also equals the number 33, 10, 13, 10. The miners were brought up from the earth in the Phoenix capsule, the rising from the ashes, right? Rebirth. The Phoenix is symbol of rebirth, regeneration. I didn't know that. That just really makes the claim even better, though. As the Vigilant Citizen points out, the miners were told to wear a t-shirt with an inverted pentagram, a magical symbol associated with various secretive orders, including the Freemasons. Look at that. That's why I was wondering what was up with the whole Chile flag. It was all over the Google search. I'm always up to speed on the statistics for trends, and that was a big trend, was a Chile flag. So it says all of the rescued miners surprisingly look surprisingly well for having been trapped underneath the earth for 69 days. None of the rescue miners required any sort of major medical attention, which is a bit suspect in and of itself. Number 6, one of the rescued miners was actually a former professional soccer player. I just want to take the time to read that. And you go out and check it out for yourself. Mail online. Humans using 1.5 planets worth of resources and will need 2 Earth by 2030. Humans' demands on natural resources have doubled in under 50 years and are now outstripping what the Earth can provide by more than half, a new report has warned. And this is about, well, I don't really need to say more. It's all about a carbon CO2, see, ecological footprint. CO2 is something that you breathe out. It's not really even tangible. You can't touch CO2. At least I don't think so. But either way, it's talking about ecological footprint, right? So yeah, it's a big fraud, and it's about passing a carbon tax, and that's all it has to do with. Because everything else, like oil, is artificial scarcity. Says large swaths of Earth drying up, studies suggest. Here we go again. This is all propaganda. To fit the bill for the carbon tax bill that will eventually the U.S. and other countries and China will sign on. It's basically a transfer of wealth, redistribution of wealth, which is one of the planks of the communists. Cancer is purely man-made, says scientists, after finding almost no trace of disease in ancient mummies. Terminal cancer patients routinely exploited by high-profit screening scams even as death approaches. Epidemic. Half of U.S. teens meet criteria for mental disorder. Secret Cold War plan includes mass detentions. Next one up. GM lobby helped draw up crucial report on Britain's food. Will the new debt commission back a value-added tax? Obama and Palin are related, and this is no surprise. It's all in the family, right? I think Palin's going to be the next. Thank you, everyone. Have a good weekend.